Hello everyone and welcome back to my morning report. Charles Appraisals on Monday 10th of October with me, Rich Parry, market analyst at Handtech Markets. Going to look at my FX Trade of the Year instruments now. We're into week 2, so change of instruments, 8 new ones on the lucky 8. We're looking at sterling dollar, Kiwi dollar, euro sterling, euro Aussie, dollar rand, FTSE 100, WTI oil and cocoa. So let's start off with, well, what is the big one in the news really, isn't it? Which is sterling dollar cable. Look at that bear candle on Friday. Wow, what a big intraday swing that was. But to be honest, the reason that stochastics are rising is because of this unwind on Friday, but you'd still say that the momentum indicators are still very negative, and I think there is capacity for further downside. 15 in January, currently 22. The breakdown of this big trading range, which sort of measured about 650 odd ticks, measured down from 128 gives you 2150. So I still think that there is further downside in this move. You're selling into strength. 124.70 seems to be sort of capping the upside at the moment. Certainly it was on Friday, and it's just drifting a little bit now. Today's low, 123.60, gives you a bit of support, and that is sort of now protecting a couple of lows, you could argue, 23.10 and 22.23. But to be honest, I think lower highs, lower lows, I think you're going to be sort of pulling for further corrective move, and this unwind has already now happened, so renewing downside potential. So let's look at the Kiwi, hopefully. Zoom out a bit when it comes up. Yeah, Kiwi's interesting because if you actually look on the daily chart, NZD equals, you've actually topped out. Completed this head and shoulders top pattern. Sort of support around sort of 72.10, 72.20. There's been sort of the lows throughout August, September. You broke below that, and that's now becoming the basis of resistance. 72 big figure. So that neckline is your sort of line in the sand, really. And these momentum indicators certainly looking corrective on the daily chart. And again, looking so on the hourly chart as well. So 72 figure is resistance. You've sort of unwound back towards sort of an opportunity to really sell again, and I think little rallies are going to be seen near term as a chance to sell. I think you're going to retest that low, 71.07, and then possibly beyond. Euro sterling, here we go. There's another one. Here is another one for the measuring of sterling. You've got this 21-hour moving average, which is becoming the basis of support. Interestingly, this green line has been in the last 3 sessions, so watch out for that. Your sort of support comes in 89.60 and 89.85, and that is holding at the moment. It's sort of almost consolidating. I think, to be honest, it's not to be unexpected with the US out of trading today, but still I think that it's likely to go further higher. The configuration of all these momentum indicators suggests still further gains. You've got your resistance initially 9055 and 91 big figure, but I think we're going to see further pressure to the upside, and I think the likelihood is that any sort of corrections are going to be seen as buying opportunities. But to be honest, the volatility is still playing out, and it's still a bit of a difficult one to really gauge on a near-term basis because of such volatility that we saw on Friday. Euro Aussie, so basically moving sideways, isn't it? Again, sort of if we look on the daily chart, you'll see Euro Aussie has sort of started to gain a little bit of upside traction, not too much. It held on, and it has sort of posted positive candles in the last 4 sessions, slightly improving momentum indicators, stochastics rising, RSI back to above 50. So you're sort of putting pressure on this resistance 47.85 area, 47.80, 47.85. That's really been in place, that resistance, for the last sort of couple of weeks now. So if you break above that, that sort of re-engages the bull move, and you can see here 47.80 is your resistance. Slightly positive on the near-term indicators, but not hugely. It's still sort of trying to figure out where it wants to go near-term, because having had that jump higher, it's basically gone sideways, but very slightly positively biased. But that resistance at 47.80 is key, obviously, in near-term. Now, dollar rand. Again, slightly sort of picking up in the last sort of couple of weeks as the dollar strength has been coming through. That's helped the momentum indicators to improve. Again, it needs to sort of break above sort of 14.06 to really sort of gain that traction. It seems to be that every time it gets sort of above or towards 14 big figure, it sort of drops away again. But it is slightly still improving on a near-term basis, although just in the last hour it's actually rolled over again. Now that support at 13.72 area, I'd say that is key, because that then sort of protects you from this pivot around the sort of 13.68 area. And now that is important near term, because if you lose that, then you're sort of retesting these lows again, 13.54 area. But I certainly think that we need to sort of just hold on now, which is just coming under a bit of pressure, looking at the hourly MACD lines as well, looking at more or an increasingly corrective near term. So these supports could come under pressure now today, and if that is the case, then you could lose the improving chart element of it, or the improving element of this daily chart. So watch out for that. I think FTSE 100 is testing the big all-time highs, or looked to be coming up for another retest of the highs, but it's just dropped away again today. Friday's high of 70.79 has actually remained intact today, as the market just rolled over again. So the trading above 69.55, you're still positively configured. 7,000 bang on pretty much was that low on Thursday, and that is now the basis of support near term. But 69.55 is your key breakout level of support. Is FTSE going to be able to challenge this high? It certainly looks, I think, sterling dependent. So trading sterling and or getting sterling right, you should be able to get FTSE right near term. I think they're both very negatively configured. Sorry, that's the old one. Still very negatively configured. So it's just sort of biding its time at the moment. But generally speaking, you'll still say positive on the technicals. Now WTI started to drop away. It's broken this uptrend on this hourly chart, and it's rolled over. Now also I'm looking at the 55-hour moving average, which has been sort of supportive on the way up, and that's rolled over, and that's sort of coming in pretty much bang on 50 now. $50. $50 is clearly a psychological level, but also a breakout level pivot as well. So it's a level that I think the market is looking out for. So $50 area, that's your sort of key near-term resistance. You've sort of slightly recovered a bit of lost ground today, 49.15. That was sort of in the 49 to 49.30 area, which is a bit of a support. 49 big figure towards 49.30. Sort of a bit of supportive range really, and you've just held on to that today. So if you fall back away and you lose 49 figure again, I think that could sort of accelerate the correction lower, because it certainly looks as though Friday's candle was fairly negative, fairly sort of corrective, and if you can sort of continue this move lower, you'd start to see the stochastics getting traction to the downside, also the RSI dropping below 60, so that would start possibly another near-term correction. Maybe that would be sort of back towards that sort of 47, 48 area, which is the key levels near-term, key level of support near-term. But I think that this could be a bit of a pause for breath, but just wait for that 49 big figure. And finally, Cocoa. We're just dropping away. Sorry, excuse me. You sort of lost a bit of that traction to the upside, and good lord, sorry, just lost a bit of that traction to the upside. 2,850 is the resistance in place. It's just lower highs, lower lows now, isn't it? And the stochastics rolling over. RSI losing traction again below 50. I think little rallies are a chance to sell. A retest of that low, 27.55, is likely, but certainly is coming under a bit of pressure. You're falling moving averages. It looks like rallies are a chance to sell. So I wish you good luck in your trading today, and I'll speak to you later.